maybe we don't even know what he's promised us yet, what his promises for our lives even sound like. It's still needed to know what that future's going to look like. What specifically am I hoping for? I've got to strategize, and I've got lists I need to write. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. I hope your week's been blessed and your weekend started well. Before we jump in, please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe, and click the notification bell for future uploads if you're interested. God willing, there'll be a video every week, so I'd very much love and appreciate your support. If, like me, you thrive on knowing the details, planning accordingly, flowcharting your way through life's various choices to determine the best course of action or even the safest route to take. Uncertainty is something that can feel like a slow puncture. Everything's holding up. Everything's moving fine, seemingly, until suddenly it's not. It's the tires of life that start running flat when you hit that bump of uncertainty. The weight of uncertainty can sometimes be crippling, at least for me, because I tend to try and anticipate all possibilities, the good, the bad, the unpleasant ones, so that I'm able to hash out a plan to avoid them. Uncertainty, I think it challenges our sense of control, our sense of self, and it can even test our or the strength of our composure as it presses down with all its might. But I'm really starting to grasp that this faith walk thing is a life that is filled with what I'm calling uncertain certainty, which is an oxymoron at its finest. Certainty is defined as a firm conviction that something is the case. And while we know for certain that God will pull us through whatever it is he has orchestrated, we don't always necessarily know how. And I think it's this that often sends us or our control freak selves into a crisis of fear, of doubt, or even panic. We know we have a sense of what he's promised us, but again, we don't necessarily know when. And that's simply because the timing is his. Or further still, maybe we don't even know what he's promised us yet, and we're still trying to figure all of that out, what his promises for our lives even sound like. And all we have to go on is his word, knowing that his plans and his thoughts for us are of a future and of a hope. But that human nature of us is still needed to know what that future's going to look like, and what specifically am I hoping for? Because I've got to strategize, and I've got lists I need to write. I was watching a video this week where a lady was sharing her experiences with a challenging situation she was dealing with. And she said she heard quite plainly God telling her that she shouldn't plan for the worst. Don't plan for the worst. And I don't know about you, but for me, that's a sucker punch. Because the reality is, we know that planning is a good thing. But it's when we need to know all the details at all times so that we can strategize our way around all perceived risks. The question then becomes, well, how's that walking by faith? How's that trusting God to direct our paths despite the circumstances and despite what we're seeing? So uncertain certainty is to acknowledge that his thoughts are not our thoughts and our ways are not his ways. Like air or the wind, we're certain it exists, but we can't see it, nor can we tell how it comes or where it goes to. Quite simply, uncertain certainties are the mysterious and secret things of God that we must learn to trust, believe, and then know that they are orchestrated in our favor, despite whether or not we understand it. And this is faith in action. It's the act of believing what is yet to be seen. But how do we combat those times where our faith or the faith of our spirit clashes with the logic of our mind? In Philippians 4 verse 6, it says that we're to be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, we're to let our requests be made known to God. Verse 7 then says, and the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard our hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. And in verse 8, it goes on to say, finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue and if there is anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. So I think the key to combating our anxious minds when we're in a season of uncertainty is to meditate on the nature of God and who he is, and reminding ourselves of all the times that he has done it for us before, especially the times that looked desperate or hopeless or lost. And then to know that everything will happen according to his plan and his timing, and that he's never late. He's always only ever on time. At this point, it sounds so cliche to say, but a life of faith is continually learning to surrender our control of the details to the one who has the master plan. And his plan is always, without a shadow of a doubt, infinitely better than anything we could ever imagine or ask or think, because ultimately it's for his glory, and his glory is the one thing he will not scrimp on. It sounds so cliche, but a life of faith is continually learning to surrender our control of the details to the one who has the master plan. And his plan is always, without a shadow of a doubt, infinitely better than anything we could ever ask or think, because ultimately it's for his glory, and he never scrimps on his glory. And the best news is that he wants to glorify himself through our lives. So we need to learn to trust, obey, surrender, And that includes our anxieties. Surrender them all over to him, because he will be glorified. I hope this has blessed you. If so, please share with one and bless another. And let's build a community that's rooted in resilience, hope, and the unwavering belief in the power of God. It's time to discover the power of steadfast faith as we break through and overcome. Thanks for watching. Be blessed. Go good.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.